I don't know. You know, they kind of streaking by me. Yeah, let me grab a copy of that extra.
Rule. And if you tell
Was yesterday when you guys had your social media
Yes.
focus and group coaching? Okay.
Would anybody else like a water? I'm okay, thank you. Good. Here you go.
Admits all.
Here you go.
So we don't have to sit here and monitor that, huh?
The only thing we'll have to make sure is we admit everyone as they come in, because I'm assuming some of them are going to be coming and going.
Okay, so we do have to manually admit them.
Right.
Okay.
And then once you're ready to take over, you can do share screen, and they'll see what you've got on the screen.
Okay.
Okay, can I introduce you?
You sure can.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can see me up there. Do I need to talk like this? Okay, hey gang, do me a favor if you would, and show your faces. I don't want to just be looking at names. So if you could take yourself and show yourself. Hi, Annie. That would be awesome. Okay, so the reason we're here today, I am so excited. Chuck and I have been working on this for months. And I'm so glad that we were able to put together a program that the office is funding so you can increase your business and get into production if you haven't already. And this program is an incredible tool to help you achieve that. So I'm going to turn it over to Chuck Wells, who is my friend, my affirmations partner, and my teacher. He may not know that. And he is going to introduce himself, tell a little bit about who he is and what we're going to do today to kick this off. And there is somebody entering, so I'm going to admit him. So there you have it. All right.
All right, so let you guys see me for just a second, and then I'll turn and talk to the room here. It sounds good and all? Can someone give me a thumbs? Okay, good. All right, so currently, as Stephanie said, my name is Chuck Wells. I'm here in the Metro, and I am what's called a growth partner for the Locker Room. And Keller Williams Mullinex has partnered with the Locker Room as of officially last Friday-ish, I think. Something like Stephanie said that we've been working on since the fall and planning to launch at the first of the year. Prior to my venture with the Locker Room in March of 2020, I was just like you guys. I still hold an active license, and I was a productivity coach for Keller Williams Elite in Oklahoma City. So I was in that role, that leadership role, for 4 years. And just as Brian is your productivity coach, I was in that role there at any given point in time with about 55 to 70 agents for 4 years. And in true transparency, I missed some of my freedom. I missed some of my flexibility. And I was just a little bit tired, in all honesty. And so in conversation and relationships I had through just some peer relationships in the industry, this opportunity with the Locker Room came about. And I said, I want to know more. So you guys will not see me that much from time to time. I really work through Brian, through Stephanie, so that you guys get the best experience with the Locker Room that you can. Now, once in a while, just since I'm locally based, we will pull together something and do it as a Zoom or in person, just like we are today, and just bring you a little bit of variety. And because, you know, I know you get tired of hearing from the same people all the time. So it's nice to bring in a new perspective sometime. And I say that in a fun way for sure. So where we're going today, I really want to make sure that everyone either has or can log in to the Locker Room platform, because we're going to hit the ground running really today, definitely officially no later than Monday. So we don't want login issues slowing us down. I know about you, but I get really frustrated when technology doesn't cooperate. And so if we can detour as many of those little hurdles as possible, that's all the better. And then we're going to dive into your dashboard and actually show you how to set up your goals. You should know what your goals are through your one-on-one conversations with Brian over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And if you're not 100% set on what your goal is, you do have an opportunity in the first week of a course that we're going to launch that dives in deeper into your goals and the why behind your goals. So you do have an opportunity to reconsider those and amend them if you need to. And then the third piece today is talking about Track, and that's the course that we're going to jump into officially Monday. And I'm going to share some bits and pieces with you about that. Does that sound like a plan? You feel like you will know everything you need to know if we accomplish those 3 things today? Thumbs up online? Okay, all right, good deal. So first things first, you should have received notice. Has everyone been able to log in so far or create their login? And those of you, if there's someone on Zoom that has not, just unmute yourself and let me know.
I have not.
Okay, you have not been able to, or you just have not set it up?
I've not set it up.
Okay, let me explain, just so we don't have hiccups, let me explain what that looks like. You should have received an email notice from the platform, like the software platform itself. Sometimes I get asked who that comes from, and I honestly don't know who it says the sender is on that. But and then you should have received a second email from either Brian, Stephanie, or Sherry here at Mullinex. So your first time out, you are logging into the core dashboard, and then it asks you to select the university button. It's a red button at the top of the dashboard, and the university is where all the courses are housed. This is the only time you have to do the double login. Unless you go buy maybe a new computer or something like that, you might have to do it. The double login is a one-time thing. From now on, when you log into your dashboard and you select the university button, you will go directly into the university. So make the 2 logins the same. Don't complicate things here.
So how many have logged in?
Yeah.
Has anybody logged in? You got to be logged in,
I've got the core, but I'm doing the locker room.
You're doing the university now. Okay.
If you are Gmail based, it could be in your promotions tab. If you are Gmail based, and it could be if you're.
Yeah, all the Keller Williams emails are Gmail based.
So go
if you
into.
didn't see it, look at your spam and the promotions.
For the person who referred you and the coach name, who do we put?
Pardon?
I'm sorry, Kristen, what was that you speaking?
Yeah, for the person who referred you and the coach name, who do we put there?
There's whenever we
Is it
sign
asking you that?
Yeah,
person
that's
who
right.
referred and then our coach, obviously.
Okay, so as, let me see the screen, I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've actually.
I put, whenever I did it, I put you as the person that referred
Right.
me, and I left the coach blank because it didn't make me put in the coach.
Okay, so you guys can do one of 2 things. If you want to put me, Chuck Wells, as who referred you, you can put Brian as your coach. I think what that's really asking is like who the locker room contact is as coach. You're not going to have a wrong answer there. Don't worry. It's not critical that those all be the same. All right. I know everyone's kind of messing around with that, and that's okay. I do want you to know that as far as other devices like your phone, iPads, tablets, you can create a shortcut that will take you to this same dashboard and into the university. So you can, on any device, you can watch, you are definitely able to watch the modules and all, and interact with them just fine. Is everyone doing okay? So on Zoom, we have some here in the room setting up their logins. And if you're doing that as well, that's okay. Or if you want to come back to it, you can.
This is Miranda speaking. I'm trying to log into my university and it will not let me log in at all.
Okay, so let me do just a little, let me ask some questions here. I've gotten
Okay.
really good at this. So when you logged in, you saw your core dashboard that had all the number columns on it, right?
I think so, yes.
And then you selected the red button for the university, and then did it give you an error message?
I don't remember if I clicked the red arrow button or not. But it just, like, I just reset my password and automatically sent me to the core page.
Okay.
But
and
it
so
didn't.
at the top of the core page, when you click on the red university button, what does it do?
It sends me to the login and it says create a new account or I already have an account.
Okay.
Doesn't you have to create it first?
You have to create it.
Okay.
You wouldn't, yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't speak clearly to that. Yeah, when you go to that university page, you're going to create the login, just make it the same as your core login.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And then that'll link the 2 pages. I am so glad we're getting this out of the way today.
I know, right? Okay, when, it doesn't matter.
You can,
Well.
yeah, you can put my name. Okay, yeah.
Me too.
Right.
But it might take me to a page that says.
It did that to
email
me,
be covered.
And I just went out of it and went back in and logged in again, and it worked.
I got 2 emails. So the first email that I got, it did that for me, and then I went into the other one, and that one worked. I have 2 emails.
I only got one email.
Okay.
I probably hear replies. All right, good.
Well, the second one worked, so thank you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I have had to in the past, like when you get into the university, I've had it hang on to the cookies and that type of memory in my computer, and I've had to like completely log out or refresh at times to get like a new course to pop out of. So just be patient with it, and we will get everyone there for sure.
This is Autumn speaking. I am searching for an email and I don't have anything on it.
I'm sorry, say the Autumn.
I don't have an email to sign up for it.
Do you have, it's your Keller Williams email, that everybody, it's got to be your KW email.
It is my KW email and I looked in spam and everything and I don't have it.
Okay, hold tight, hold tight. Can you go under your, the agents on the dashboard? Go in and put under the agents and see what.
And then I tried this too. See if I could set up an email, and it doesn't.
Look right here, it's not this way.
Right, I haven't even logged in.
So you check on the
That's
dashboard.
I haven't logged in.
Just hold on.
Right,
But I thought she works now. Did you get your, have you logged into it?
I have not.
Okay, jump on there. Okay.
Then
It should
our
be
first step is to make sure
in
you know
your,
what
it's
it is.
from your email. It'll be in your email, and it might be in your, promotions. Okay, because it went to your
Yeah, and it was
KW.
this one.
Okay.
Welcome to the
But it's on
website.
your regular email.
It set as a password, but then when I click it, it shows the reset. and then I go through that, and then.
You're just K dot Allen at KW?
That's when I put it in. It goes to. Okay.
And if you refresh, like,
What if you don't remember, what if you put that in, put it in David and hit that one?
okay, but that's showing like for.
Yeah. Like I forgot.
Yeah.
my password. Okay, did it take my password that I set up on it? And we'll see. It's the same one, but then it's weird because it
Why not
says,
if you just
Hold
go
on,
to
Autumn.
the
Brian's getting set up.
yeah, I tried that.
Okay, I actually did find it, but for some reason it's not taking my email address. When it says to recover your account.
No, I didn't.
Maybe try to go back to your email now. and then pull up. Yeah, just. Well, I'm just all over the place today. I'm done, I go to sleep.
Never a problem solved or log. It's really, I usually just ask the questions and then refer it to Corinne. Did any of you have the challenges that she's having with?
Yesterday, this is Kristen. Yesterday, whenever I tried to set up my thing, it just kept like, it wasn't finding it. And I probably did like recover my password like 10 times. And I finally just like did it on a different device. And I finally got like an email to reset the new password. So maybe if she like changes devices.
Okay,
Oh.
well, when did you first try to log in? Just today? Just going in here?
I think I tried it yesterday,
You did?
whatever day that we got the email, I tried it once.
Okay. Can we verify that the email she's used, so that you see?
No, go to the red lock room.
Is this the one up here at University?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like.
And then it's-
And do the
I'll
same
try it on here
login
and see if it'll
as
work.
you did for that. So same email address,
Okay.
same password.
Okay.
And this will be the only time you'll have to double log in.
Okay.
From now on, when you click on the university, it should just take you over.
Password, can I just use the same password?
Same password, yeah.
Okay, mine says credentials error. The username or password is invalid.
This is the first time.
Yeah. No, this is the first one I've done anything. And when I started out at the very beginning,
And the company name?
what's the CLR? Oh, the password. Okay. I did that.
Yeah, see, there's a.
And does that mean, Autumn, I use the same password? But
Autumn?
what it goes to is.
She's not logged in?
I finally got logged in.
Okay. Hey, Autumn.
Hi.
So I've got you down as Autumn L93 at KW. Is that correct?
Yes.
So-
Okay, it got me logged in.
You got in. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
You're still validating for that. Yes. But it's your just keeps. Okay. Yes. I left the house. It does. It's not a thing. I'm only one person on my phone. Return.
It's fine. Everywhere, your email.
I don't even know if I put my dog in.
I just ran out of the house here. Now go and try to.
Really? Does it start at 1:30? No, start at
She like, hop on Zoom.
Well, shit, but okay. Password.
we have a problem solved with
Okay.
those in a bit. Okay,
We might have to do one-on-one. Okay.
let me go ahead.
Video.
You guys just kind of.
Your videos are
Okay.
correct.
So we got two.
I was dying. I was watching. I was like,
And so,
Go on the same place where it does.
Yeah.
do I have anyone on Zoom that it did not work for? Everyone finally okay on Zoom? Okay. So if we can, let's go ahead and move forward, and then we will get those two squared away for sure. So, all right, let me get back on track here. I'm gonna share my screen. Right, so you guys can see. And those of you on Zoom, at any time, if you have a question, please just unmute yourself and like tell me to hold on a second, because I've minimized all of you and I can't see your faces if you do the little thumbs up or anything. So as I said before, with the Locker Room, this is our mission. It says the Locker Room is a community of real estate coaches, agents, brokers, and leadership teams partnering together. That's big in our industry of the collaboration, the partnering together. We become what you guys need us to be. It's not our agenda or anything that we basically, have to follow, so to speak. Partnering together to create resources, systems, tools, and a culture that drives success. We're powered by some of the top coaches across the country, and the Locker Room specializes in coaching broker owners, teams, other coaches, and real estate agents. So everyone here in the room fits into that, that mission. I'm going to dive into what Track is. And Track is the course that we will be launching with all of you guys immediately. And Track stands for, of course, in real estate, we all have to have the acronyms. Track stands for taking relentless action through commitment and knowledge. So has anyone in the room participated in Ignite? Some in the room, some online, potentially. Yes. Have any of you participated in Bold? Okay. I will say I find Track as a great marriage of both of those. There are pieces that are similar to the Bold experience. There are pieces that would be somewhat similar to Ignite. Really in the Ignite world, if you think about it, and I'm at a loss for what they've gone on to call Ignite now, Spark and Elements. Okay, so in the Ignite world, you do learn how to have those buyer conversations. You do learn how to have those listing conversations, and growing and developing those presentations and all. You're going to get pieces of that in Track as well. In Bold, you're held to more of in generating the business, and you're going to find that elements of that in Track also. What I will say for Track, and I'm going to show you the outline here in just a minute, it starts from a very foundational piece of what are your goals, who's your ideal client, what do you want to be known for, what's your mission, what are your values, and we talk about our company, Y4C2Ts, and those values and of the company, but what are yours? And when you know what you are, you're then more likely to attract those same type of clients, because we are in a relationship business, and like energy attracts like energy, right? So the Track is definitely going to take you on a journey. It's a long journey, and so we ask that you be patient with it and stay on board with us. It's 12 weeks, and through me leading Brian, and Brian leading and motivating you guys in a weekly Thursdays through week by week. So you can see in section 1, the first 3 weeks, we call the foundation. And in that foundation, week 1 is the agent action plan. That's that goal setting, identifying your ideal client, and what are your missions, values, beliefs going to be. In week 2, we get into time management and how to work with our schedules and time block. I know some of these words I throw out there are words that you hear day in and day out, and you may already have some type of an opinion or feeling around those words. And I ask you to be very open-minded and don't think that you already know what time blocking is. This time management will be presented in a way that it has not been presented to you before, I promise. So very foundational piece that will help you through the 12 weeks. And then in week 3, identifying your core advocates, and that's getting into building the database, your sphere of influence, your contacts, whatever you may call them, and who are your core advocates, the ones that are the strongest relationships. As we get to create this foundation, we move on into the second phase, and that's when we get into the listings and the sellers, working with buyers, and then identifying, depending on where you're from, niche or niche market and your ideal client there. So we call that the skills section, because that's where you're learning how to communicate and how to have your presentations. All while you already are having conversations with people through your contacts and your activities. As we get into this section 3, this gets into the systems. This is where your business becomes sustainable. And this is where you're making sure things are not falling through the cracks. So what's your follow-up system going to be? How do you make sure that these conversations that you're having throughout the 12 weeks are not falling through the cracks and you forget to follow up with them at a later point in time? So what's your follow-up system going to be? What's your client experience going to be? And that's simply, how are you going to ensure that every client or potential client you come in contact with is receiving the same experience from you, like your brand and your experience to them, or their experience with you, from you. And then treating your business like a business, and we hear that a lot, fortunately, within Keller Williams. Then we get into the final 3 weeks of the achievement. You have a lot of conversations you've been having, you have a lot in your pipeline getting ready to overflow or already overflowing. By this time, you've been in this course 9 weeks, so there's a story that you're already able to tell. So what's your story going to be? What are your successes? What are the successes of the largest team here in Keller Williams Mullinex Market Center? What's that story? What is it, and what's it playing out to be? And then learning how to be your local economist, knowing numbers of your market here within the Norman community and throughout the metro. And then how can you be consistent and keep this momentum going? So TRAP really is created as a way of doing business. You could take these 12 weeks and repeat it over and over and over each quarter, and grow the number of contacts that you're having, or maybe grow what you originally thought your goal was into something even larger. So it really does become a way of doing business. And all while you're going through this, you have your leadership here hosting the weekly huddles, which are already on Thursdays for you guys, and keeping you motivated, keeping you engaged, helping you problem solve, overcome objections and hurdles, things of that nature. So what are your thoughts so far? Be real with me. Excited?
I like how specific it is each week. You have something to do.
You have lots to do. Let's be real. But right, there is a focus of each week. There really is. It's not like we're just on this 12-week journey and go produce. It's not vague like that at all. Like it is specific on what you're going to be learning and what skills you're going to be growing that week. So within the TRAP world, you must have the workbook. And I know Stephanie and Brian have talked to you guys about that. You must have the workbook, and then you must have the locker room module as well, and they go hand in hand. What I think is cool is, as I told you, I come from the Keller Williams world. I've taken a lot of workshops, been a part of a lot of workshops, presented a lot of workshops. I think this workbook is one of the best workbooks I've ever seen. Your weekly planner is in the workbook. your, well, why am I talking about this? Let me switch to another, hang on. I've actually got the week 1 here of the workbook.
Check, can I interject real quick?
Yes.
Just so you know, I have purchased a couple of the books. This is what they are. They're pretty awesome. I didn't want to just order them because you guys need to pay for them. They're $30. Now you can order it. Let me know. We'll order them online if you want it like this, or you can just download them each week. You can go into the locker room, you can download the material. So after this, if you're interested in purchasing one, we'll buy them for you and just throw it on your office bell.
Yes. So either way, the locker room is not making any profit off of those books, and even outsourcing them because the way you order them is on Amazon. It helps to have the link. They're really tough to find because we just don't want them out there on the open market. However, you can get them in a couple of days with Prime delivery for sure. So this is a glimpse into the workbook. As you see, week 1, the foundation. And when you turn into your the beginning of each week, you're going to see your checklist of what to complete that week. Okay, don't gasp just yet, okay? In week 1, 2, and 3, you are going to have a lot of video content. The videos are the circles with the little triangle in them. Again, there's lots of foundational pieces that are going to propel you, and carry you on through the 12 weeks. Week 1 is a heavy, heavy week with videos. And what better time with a snowstorm moving in this weekend, right? So the way your schedules are going to run here, you're actually going to get a few more days than a week for week 1. So your group sessions right now with Brian are on Thursdays, right? So really, as of today, you have access and can dive into track. We're saying that track is launching for you guys Monday. You can do it sooner if you choose. So the check-in date, he's going to be checking in with you guys with what we call the track meet, the meetup, is not going to be this coming Thursday. There will be still group coaching and all, and he'll be checking in with you guys, but you technically have 10, and if you start today, even more to complete week 1, which is great. So technically the week 1 is your weeks are going to run Thursday to Thursday with this. So you will finish up a week, like on a Wednesday, you'll have your group coaching with Brian and you'll recap it. You'll talk about what's to come, make sure everyone is set and ready to go. And then it'll run the Thursday through Wednesday, okay? It's a little different way of thinking, yet it helps everyone stay on the same path, and it times out with your weekly sessions.
Hey guys, don't forget, by the way, the next PC group meeting we have is actually next Friday because of family reunion next week. So don't forget about that. So you even got an extra day.
There you go.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah. All right. You will notice the way the checklist is laid out. You have your tasks that are in kind of depends on what device you're on and how your color is set. Sometimes they look peachy, sometimes they look pink, but they're shadowed in a color at the top. And then you have all of your video learning below that. The reason we have it laid out that way is so you do not forget about the tasks. This isn't a course to learn for the sake of learning. There are activities because we want everyone producing as well. And I say we, I have no ownership in it other than that's just how the course is designed. So as you glance at that, do you guys have any questions? As you glance at the checklist.
Where do they find these videos?
Okay, love that.
Get to that.
Right?
Maybe, I think someone else is trying to get in.
Oops.
So, I don't know where.
Hang on just a second. 1 second, guys.
Maybe. I know Bianca was just saying she wanted to connect. Sorry. She's going to be wanting to connect here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just keep an eye out.
We'll keep that up for just a
Okay.
second so we can see.
It looks like she's connected, but
Okay.
she may have lost connection.
All right. So the course module is in the university. So when you log in, the first thing you're going to see on your dashboard is what's called Core. It says Core at the top, C-O-R-E. And then you click on your university red button and it takes you into the university. In the university, there are several modules in there. For simplicity and focusing on one thing right now, only search for track. And it should actually say track 2.0. I'm going to give you an example of it here in just a minute. I don't see.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to scoot this down here.
Yeah.
One of the things I do want to point out also for time management's sake, you will see beside all of the videos as you come down through here, how long the video is. If it's 2 minutes, if it's 12 minutes, etc. So this helps you by planning those out through the week as well. If you happen to have some dual responsibility in your life right now with kiddos schooling from home or another job or part-time job, this allows you to plan accordingly and planning those videos out. So again, what I want to stress, I don't like that word. What I want to communicate to you, there we go, is you are having activities each day and just plan out your videos each day. Don't cram videos for 3 days and then try to cram all your activities in 3 or 4 days. Like, let it all happen day to day at the same time. That's how it's intended to play out. And when we talk about a week in our world, it's 5 days, 5 working days, not 7. So when you get into this and you're building your database and you're making your contacts, that's 5 days a week. And because you deserve some time off from time to time. One of the things you will notice also, just as I said that the like in the beginning, the beginning weeks, you will have more videos than in the as you get into, like, say week 6 through 12. That's intentional because week 6 through 12, you're going to be having more in your pipeline. You're going to have clients that are needing service or buyers that you're out showing. So there's going to be less learning time because you're going to be out in the field. Also, the number that it's asking you to generate for your database becomes smaller daily as you go through the course. So there's going to be a shift as you go through these 12 weeks from learning and activities, say at your phone or your laptop, versus being out in the field and generating money. Okay. And I think that, to me, that's one of the pieces that is really cool about this course. It's just because those times I've experienced, and I can say this without offending anyone, like Bold, you're making 20 contacts a day in Bold, or it was last I was in the Bold room, and okay, 20 a day, and then you're like halfway into the course and you're still expected to make that many contacts plus service all the business that came from those contacts. And that's where it really gets daunting, is just because there's so much to do. And so I do like how this kind of shifts as you go through the weeks. Any questions I can ask? Now I'm going to actually log into my core dashboard, and I'm going to go into the university and show you how the module plays out. But any other questions? Again, your point of contact is still going to be Brian. It's not me. Although I'm here to help through them behind the scenes. And
Andrew, did you get logged in? I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I was listening online.
Okay.
I hadn't actually done it, but I was
Okay.
doing
Gotcha.
I was.
okay, so let me I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute here to get this to minimize, and then go back, and I'm going to actually log in for you guys. Well, here we go. All right, so I'm going to log into my dashboard and explain just a few pieces here. Great, they love me. Okay, my dashboard is going to look just a little different from you guys. And the difference is going to be, I have more icons on the left side than you might. And leadership will look just a little different. So, but all basically still the same. One of the things I do want to point out, you'll notice in your left-hand column, you're going to have a toolkit. These are pieces to help you when you get to the buyer consultation, when you get to the perfecting your listing appointment, and how the toolkit helps you. If you've heard in any learning thus far, who has heard of pre-qualifying a seller before you go out to that listing appointment, and a variety of the questions you ask, like, have you thought of selling yourself? What's your perception of the market in your neighborhood? What do you think your home's worth? How much do you owe on your home? Like all of that information that you're collecting before you, so you know how to show up to that appointment. That's the pieces that are in the toolkit. So everything that's going to support your learning and for those appointments are going to be there. Also in the toolkit are going to be memory joggers that help you grow your database and get you to thinking of who you might know that's not top of mind right now. And I can 100% say this is like a memory jogger on steroids. It is like over the top and will definitely stretch your mind and helping you grow that database. So lots of tools in there. Do not rule that out. When you open it up, you're going to, again, you guys, you're seeing a lot of things that will not show up on yours because of my access. But yours will look like this. You've got those that relate to the buyer, for sell by owners and expires, if you're generating business in that way, your goal setting, your lead generation, scripts. I highly encourage you to dive into the scripts here. Jake, our founder, gives himself a pat on the back that these are scripts simplified and that they're in language that we use and not words that we don't know what the heck they mean sometimes. So great script booklet there. Same for leadership and your access. And then seller docs as well. Any questions just yet?
Can you tell them how they download some of those, because it's a little odd.
It is, and you know, in full disclosure, we're not a tech company, so we're limited on the platform that we are using right now. This is going to have a huge improvement soon. Okay, so to access something, here I'm in my agent view. Let's say I'm going to go into the buyer docs. I will select it, and then you'll see the download button. And then it'll download like a zip file. So once it's on your device, you'll always have it when you download it that way.
And
Okay.
you can open that up also to see what's inside there, and it's so you can kind of.
Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. Yes, yes, I skipped that step.
Right click on those and download those individually. Like if you want just the scripts or just one thing on there, you don't have to download the whole file. That's what I
look at your leader over here. He's had access one day and he's like becoming a pro here. All right, so lots of good things there. Let me take you into the university. Once you, what?
You're on a new device.
Okay, already have an account. That's, I thought from my login. Okay, once you are participating in some of the courses in the university, the ones you are actively in are what is going to appear first when you access the university. So that way you're not always having to dig in deep. So you can see right here, we, in my position right now, are in the midst of track. It's only 8 weeks, thank goodness, and not the 12, and wrapping up week 4 right now. Be wrapping up my activities tomorrow, in fact, instead of today. So you can see on this course though, I am 61% finished there. And you will get weekly emails that will remind you, like, you haven't visited this course in a while, you still have a desire to complete it, and just little memory joggers like that. The system kind of helps out in that way. So you can see these that I've last participated in. Now let me get to actually to track, and so you can see it. So I'm just going to go here and search track, and it will pop up. Okay, so locker room track, and it actually says track 2.0. That was because after the first launch last July, we made some tweaks and improvements and immediately re-recorded a few of the videos and relaunched it as 2.0. So when I click on the module, you're going to see your course outline and your video screen there on the majority of your screen. You're simply going to work down the left side from item to item to item. You'll see, like, you'll get into your weeks, and when you click on week 1, then it just begins guiding you through step by step. It will refer you back to your workbook if there is a page in the workbook that needs to be completed to go along with that video. So it's very easy to follow, and you just keep progressing down the left side, step by step by step. So on the go, anywhere, you can watch these videos, and when, you know, if you log out of one device and into another, it's still going to track your progress just through your login and all. And it'll pick right back up where you left off. Any questions from you guys on Zoom? Anyone from the room have questions? I know you have questions. Then what are your thoughts? Do you know how much business you're potentially can generate in the 12 weeks? Just curious if anyone's looking at anything. No. On the average, 12 pieces of business. Now that's not closed in 12 weeks. That's next to impossible. Yeah, either in the process of, you know, within 12 weeks, we definitely have a pending. You could have it closed, just depending on the urgency of the buyer and if you can find them a house, and with the market the way it is. But 12 pieces of business on the average, either pending, in your pipeline, a listing appointment or a listing agreement signed, buyer worker agreement signed, that type of thing. So the idea is, you know, over the course, again, using this 3 to 4 times over the year, that you're definitely in a year going to close at least 24 pieces of business, with more in the pipeline that would like spill over, you know, in the next year.
How does that sound? Wouldn't that sound awesome?
Right.
I wanted to, if I could just touch on a couple things. Some of the things that that I think about when I see this is, for you to get those kinds of results, don't cherry pick what you want to do, what you want to listen to, what you want to work on, what you want to do. This works best if you just go through all of it, because it jumps on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So don't leave everything aside. I think, you know, it's kind of like when people take bold, don't do bold light, don't do bold all apart. because it's all wrapped together for a reason to help you achieve those statistics, if you will. That's what happens when you do it all, so.
So, and on that, this is my opinion, and I will keep feeding this opinion into your leadership. Yet at the end of the day, it's how they choose to run the course and hold you accountable to it. Going back to being a productivity coach, I would much rather someone do something than to throw their hands in the air and do nothing at all. So the standard you're going to see in here is 10 contacts a day. If that's not in you right now, because it will be by the end of the 12 weeks, because you're going to have success and want more and more and more, desire more and more and more, great. Figure out through partnering with your leadership what your standard's going to be, and accomplish that, and then keep building. Also, with this course, life happens, as we know. Lots of life has happened over the last year or so. If there's a week that you do not complete, stay in that week for a couple more days and then move. Well, Chuck, I'm not going to be at the same point everyone else is. It doesn't matter. Like, don't leave out a week of learning and skip ahead. Even if you are an overachiever, don't move on to another week until it's time. Like, stay in that week and complete it. Because as you saw from the checklist, there's learning and there's activities. So just stay there and get the learning, definitely. Okay, for sure. There was something else along that I was going to say. I forgot what that is.
But you can, touch on when you say 10 contacts a day. I mean, you can easily call 10 people, but what determines a good contact?
Okay, I think that's a standard within, out of respect, within your coaching group of what that contact is going to be. There's a great video module that you can find in the university also it's called the What If Challenge. And it is 5 conversations a day. Now, a course is going to challenge you a little more. I mean, that's what courses are there for. Even in that 5 conversations a day, ideally, so if I'm having 5 conversations a day, what kind of conversations do those need to be to turn into income? Well, they need to be business conversations or real estate related conversations, right? However, if you are newer in the business and you're just looking to develop habits, just have 5 conversations. Even if it's checking in on a friend you haven't talked to in 6 weeks or 2 months, because you're building the habit of reaching out. And naturally, those people are going to ask you, what's going on in your world? And then you get to share about real estate. So it's a contact. Typically, again, they can redefine this, is where there was an exchange of communication, not just a text out with nothing back. Now, how can you go about that? I say open it up. I mean, text, email, anywhere you can have a two-way conversation. You guys had a social media focus yesterday with in your coaching group. I mean, through social media, you can picking up the phone and actually talking, which we know that's going to get us the most results the quickest, is an actual live conversation. Zoom, FaceTime, get 5 of your friends together on a Zoom and knock out 5 conversations at one time. I mean, what does that look like, So just any way you can have conversation. Okay, and when I say this, guys, like, I'm in the same boat you are right now. Like, in my world now, what's my job? Who am I having conversations with? Brokerage leadership across the state of Oklahoma. So how do I get in front of brokers that I don't even know? Well, I search them out on social media, and then I start finding like what's going on in their world. And then I'll reach out and propose, hey, can we get together for a 30-minute Zoom? I'd love to know about your independent brokerage down in, southeastern Oklahoma. What's the market like there? I mean, if I'm talking to brokers across the state, I like to know what's going on across the state. So same thing, so I guess the reason I say that, using myself as an example, is just I'm coming from a place of I'm in it with you, and it's not, there's no instructor, you should do this kind of thing. But start, you definitely, those of you that it's in your wheelhouse, social media is a great place to get into conversation. You see people all the time asking questions. I need a recommendation on this, or I need a recommendation on just a great place for a date night to go eat, or I need a recommendation on this, or who do you have that could come trim my trees, or, those are excellent places for you to insert yourself. So what could you do? Rather than just commenting on their posts, sending you a direct message. Then you send a direct message and you've immediately got that two-way conversation going. So look for those opportunities as well. And I know for a lot of us, social media can be a negative in the world, in our lives. It can be a distractor, yet it can be a great opportunity when used in the right way. So, be intentional with it, and you can gain a lot of exposure and just access to people through social media. I don't know what was, just one tip I want to share with you, and I don't know what all was talked about in your session yesterday, and I just had this conversation with a group of agents this morning on a Zoom, and a couple of the ladies just said, I don't want to see it all. I don't want to see all the negativity. And and then I have to scroll through so many to find those that I do want to have conversation with. So I know not everyone in here is Facebook, and you date yourself by saying you're a Facebook user. Age yourself more so than date. However, I know on Instagram you can do something very similar. Do you understand like friends lists or your preferred connections? You're categorizing them. If you're on Facebook format, create that friends list of those people you want to have the conversations with. And when you click on, select that friends list, that's all you see in your feed. I'll be doing the same thing with you guys. I support those brokerages that I'm in a partnership with. So one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is friend me before we leave today. And I have you in a friends list as KW Molinex. Well, as part of my lead gen and promoting and taking care of my accounts, I can go in and click on KW Molinex. I can see everything you guys have been posting in the last 3 days. I can help share a new listing. I can promote an open house or a broker's open, give a shout out, an accomplishment, things of that nature. So that's how you can cut through all the craziness and get to those that you want to support the most. Does that make sense? All right. Guys, I can talk and talk and talk. So what questions now? We still have a couple login issues, right? Yeah. Okay. We will get that resolved. And I still have time. If worst comes to worst, I still have time to get in touch with Corinne on the headquarters team and help get that resolved today. So I want to take care of that first. What I would ask you guys to do, we were going to do this live, and since we had some hiccups in the beginning around the logins and all, in the university, we can venture into this. I don't know how long you guys, how much time you set aside. I can play this and you can work along and watch it, but I want you to get your goals into your core dashboard. Now, it's a 15-minute video. I'm glad to play it here and work through it step by step if you guys would like to do that, as long as you two don't feel like you're missing out. And no, it exists in the university, so you have it that you can go to the minute we get your login resolved.
What do you think?
I just wanted,
Yeah.
I want some goals.
Yeah, we're good.
Goals.
Okay, so how many in the room know your goals that you truly want to have? Either from, I mean, I know some were in the business planning that we did back in November-ish, and then you've had one-on-one conversations with Brian. Do you know your goals? I mean, your desires. Okay, you're saying no.
How specific, like
Okay.
quarterly, yearly?
Okay, I love it because week one dives into what are your specific goals and how to figure that out. So if you don't already know, it's going to down to the number of conversations you need to be having. If you did go through business planning, I would say just, and you have those sheets that we filled out, or you have a concept of what you want your goals to be, don't skip that video. At least listen through it. You might not listen as intensely as if you didn't have goals at all, then just make sure, okay, yes, I mean, use it as kind of reassurance of that's what you want your goals to be. So if you want to work through the 15 minutes, I definitely can. Okay, those of you on Zoom, any questions? Anything there?
Will we be able to watch the video with y'all?
Yeah, yes, as long as technology will cooperate here. Let's see. Let's see. So in the university, you are going to see, it's called the 15-minute core orientation. So all you have to do, and even those in the room, if you want to revisit this, in the search, just it works much better with just a one word. So I'm going to type in core, C-O-R-E, and here's the 15-minute agent core orientation. And this goes through about 5 videos, a couple of minutes each. So this is a great way also just to see me interact with this. Okay.
Did you share your screen again? I know you took it off.
Oh.
At one point.
Yeah, we're sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're sharing. Thank you. All right, there is a document that you can download. So those courses outside of track, when you're learning for learning's sake, or we're doing a module of the week, or something of that nature. When I say we, see, it's the partnership. If there is a PDF of any type that you can use to go along with the course, it will be attached in there as well. So this is just a simple step-by-step that you can print out, and it guides you through the steps of entering your goals in there as well. So let's move on to the first video. All right, ready for the next one? Sorry, we're ready to move on? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna pause there. Please track all those. Your leadership will thank you. It's all information that will benefit you. Anytime someone is asking you to track your numbers, there's a lot of different feelings that come about. Sometimes it is fear, because it's fear of accountability, or it could be just fear, I don't understand it. This will make it make sense for you as long as you enter what you're doing and the results you're achieving. The power in your numbers, guys, it's not a competition with one another. It's a competition with yourself, in that it lets you and your coach see, where are my successes? Where am I excelling? And might I invest more time where I'm excelling to get even more results? It also shines a light on, in our world, we like to say, where there's opportunity, maybe that we're not excelling. And is that remedied through growing my skill set so that I can have better conversations and change that number? Or is this just not something that's in my wheelhouse that I'm going to let go and invest that time, where I'm excelling? Those are all your choices in business. And I know something just came to mind that I was going to tell you earlier, and it's all in relation to this also. So just as I mentioned when we were looking at the toolkit, I'm going to be very transparent with you here, because I'm just that way. I can train, coach, teach for sell by owners every day, all day, any day. And that is not a way I chose to spend generating business, because I know my personality and I know where my strengths are. So I invested in doubling up on my open houses. I always knew if I needed to generate consistent business or needed to boost my business, I just needed to add open houses to my schedule, because that's the way it would play out. One of the things you will even find in Track that I think is genius, we call it lead generating to your personality type. And it actually, we use the DISC, which is a well-known personality assessment. And it actually gives you activities that are applicable to your personality type. And so that way you're not stuck over here doing something that is just heart-wrenching. You're doing something that is in your strengths, that actually gives you energy and that you enjoy. Okay, so again, do not be afraid of the numbers. And you do want to add all of those categories, because we want to know how many, not we as a group here, as business owners, you want to know how many conversations am I having? Out of those conversations, how many conversations is it taking me to get to an appointment? How am I succeeding in my appointments? How many appointments do I have to have to get that that contract and then on to closing? Okay, that's the conversion ratios there. So please use all of those. All right. And some of the pieces you might not know as far as how many, you might know how many closings you desire to create the income. And until you go through the first week of track, you might not know from the closings how many like buyer broker agreements or listings that is to the conversations. And so that first week in track will reveal a lot of those like conversations to appointments, et cetera. And you can figure out your goal from there. Okay. Okay, the agent action plan is week 1 of track. Okay, so don't follow her instruction here. And we're not going to dive into all possibilities in the university, right? We're going to stay focused on track. And if you need to go back and watch this 15-minute core orientation, by all means, access it. And the other one that I had kind of baited you on is the doing the 5, the what if challenge. And that is a very revealing one with simplicity. So stay there right now. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so one of the things I want to make you aware of here. So you guys as a team all cumulatively show up on Brian's dashboard. So he can monitor the whole coaching program through these graphs and the conversion rates. What's also cool, he has a drop down somewhat similar to this that he can access. And it actually shows leaders in all these different categories, like who had the most recent listing taken, who had the most contracts in a given month, et cetera. And that gives him a way of getting shout outs and recognition throughout, like the office's social media page and things like that. Again, if you kept hearing correctly, you have to enter these numbers. This is not linked into anything to do with Keller Williams. So it is going to take you reporting your activities and your numbers. Brian will come up with his plan, and we have visited with it a little bit. I firmly believe if you can set an alarm every day or first thing in the morning to report the previous day, that is the best habit you can get into. Like right now with us with the locker room being in our own form of track, every day, 6 o'clock, I enter my numbers into the system that we have. So just set an alarm and do that. Sometimes it is easier first thing in the morning for the previous day in case there were conversations had later in the evening or something like that as well. Okay, I'm going to go to the agent toolkit and your view does not look like this, does it, in the toolkit? You don't have the green folders. Okay, there's been an upgrade, believe it or not, if you see it as an upgrade since this. So we dove into the toolkit a little bit a few minutes ago. So I'm going to skip past this one just because I don't want to confuse you with the way that it looks here. And then the last is the success track. All right.
I'm sorry, she went a little bit fast because I missed where she was at when she said, here's how you enter your goal.
Okay.
Enter your stuff.
On the left, what does that say under the little bars? It's blurry. Success tracker, yeah. So in theirs, they only have 3 items. They have home, success tracker, and toolkit. And so when you click on success tracker, that's how they enter their numbers. What you're going to see on leadership is my agents.
Okay.
And when you go into my agents, that's where it gives you the list. There you go. And see over here, it shows this is like the leaderboard over here.
Okay.
So yours will all be accumulated.
So that's why I missed it, because I don't even have
Right.
that option that she was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, you got
Makes
a different
sense.
view. Okay. Where's that light switch? This one. Okay. How are you guys feeling? Excited?
Yeah.
All right. Better be. It's gonna be fun. This is a great addition to your program. I want you guys to feel special about this because one, you are the only Keller Williams office at this time in the OKC Metro that it has adopted the locker room. We do have one office in Tulsa that we are working with, and there's a handful of Keller Williams offices in other parts of the United States as well. Even a little more exclusivity, in Norman, there is only one other brokerage that has a partnership with the locker room. You guys are number 2, and that's it for now. What we really like to do is we like to keep an element of exclusivity and make it feel special for you guys and for the broker owners as well. So you can have a little pride in what your brokerage is doing for you. And so when I started this venture with the locker room last March, we looked at the metro and the outlying areas and how many brokerage doors were in each area. And then we're spreading it out all over the metro to not allow more than 2% like in each area. So Norman like supports 2, Moore Schools supports 3, Oklahoma City proper supports either 6 or 7. And then when you get into outlying areas, say like Mustang, it's just 1 like in those outlying areas. So again, this isn't costing you guys anything, yet there is a cost to it. and your office is absorbing that. So, you know, the way you can pay them back is to engage and to show up and make a difference in your life as well as the business here as well. So we will feed you more and more. I just don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed, and I don't want everyone scattering in all directions and doing their own thing. And so track is, when you do see all of those modules in the university, track pulls, I don't know, probably 20 of those modules into the 12 weeks. So you are getting the experience of a bunch of different modules just by dialing in to the one track module. So, okay. Any questions about anything? I'm going to leave you with one last little video just to
Check, I appreciate you.